Ayo, we noticed that only about 11% of you are actually subscribed to the channel, so go ahead and do me a favor right now and hit that subscription button. Also, it's important to note, once we hit 10,000 subscribers, we will be doing a massive giveaway here on our YouTube channel, so you'll definitely want to make sure you have notifications on for that. Don't delay, hit that subscription today. You heard?
What's up YouTube, HoneyBee here. I'm joined with Biohazard and Dragon, and in this video we're going to be talking about what we think NRS's next project is going to be. Let's get it. Maybe the tweet should like appear somewhere here.
Yeah.
Let me actually let me read that shit real quick.
Okay.
All right. Says NetherRealm is now focusing on its next project, and after more than 2 years of supporting Mortal Kombat 11, DLC for the game, including characters, has come to an end. All right. So important information there, right? Like obviously, DLC characters coming to an end. There was actually some of us were still thinking that there was potential for a patch to come, since they didn't mention that, but one of the other people that work at NRS did make a tweet as well, saying that there's no plans for future patches either, meaning that the game is basically done as far as support goes. And yeah, like the next project, I'm very glad that they said they're focusing on the next project, because it would have been a little bit sad if it was just like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, and they didn't say next project.
And then that was it. So, you know, it's nice to know what the next they're working on that. So what are your guys' thoughts when it comes to the next project and whatever?
Well,
like that?
you know, so I guess we can all start speculating on what the next project is, because it is going to be happening. And I think what I personally would love, and I know a lot of people would love this, is if NRS does decide to make a Marvel versus DC crossover fighting game. I would love it for it to be 2v2 as well. I think that would add a lot of depth to the game, and it would be something completely different than what we're used to, at least for the current competitive, you know, the last couple competitive years of NRS fighting games, at least. Yeah, I think a 2v2 Marvel vs. DC, that would be really hype. There'd be obviously a lot of Injustice characters that you could bring back. I would like to see new characters as well. But also so many options when it comes to what Marvel characters they could bring if they were to decide to make this game.
But it's been rumored a lot, right? From a lot of different sources that they were kind of thinking about like a Marvel game, or like we're working on it or something. I know there's been a lot of rumors. Who knows how true they are, but I'm pretty sure that's how that idea of their next project even came about, because there's been so many rumors on that. But yeah, that's my game of choice too. Honestly,
Marvel
that
versus
would be
DC,
sick.
you think?
Yeah, I love Marvel, so I would
More than DC?
yeah, way more.
Do you know any characters you'd like to play if they have like that you'd want to be in the game?
Yeah, so if they add X-Men characters, then I would want Storm. Storm's my favorite character in any single like cinematic universe.
Okay.
But if there's no X-Men, then probably like Scarlet Witch, if she's in.
And I think if they did make a Marvel versus DC game, most likely she'd be in. The thing that worries me a little bit with a Marvel versus DC game is I just feel like if it does happen, I feel like they'd kind of be forced into putting like basically all the characters in Justice League in there and all the characters in Avengers in there, and then I feel like at that point it would leave very little room for some of the more obscure characters that could be really cool to be added to the game. You know, like for example, Beast Boy, who has never been in Injustice, and you still kind of want him to be there. But we're kind of all in agreement, I would say, when it comes to what we kind of think the next game would be. Like, I still feel like there's the possibility of Injustice 3 still being the next game. There's a possibility for them to be working on something else entirely, like, but I don't know what that would be.
Like a tag team game.
Oh, or what if they're working on like Shaolin Monks 2 or something, and they're not even bringing us a new fighting game, and then they're just like, yeah, you keep MK11 until whatever, and we're not doing fighting games anymore. That would kind of suck.
Can you imagine the competitive scene if like that got announced? It'd be like,
it would be kind of depressing, honestly, because it's like a Shaolin Monks 2 is something I know a lot of people had asked for and they want and stuff, but you know, if you want to give us a fighting game too to go with it and whatever, and then that's fine. But yeah, I think most likely, or what we're all hoping for out here is a Marvel versus DC fighting game, which I think would be really, really
Would you prefer that over Injustice 3?
I would be equally as hype, I would say. For like my hype levels for either game, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for either game, because like Injustice, I love Injustice. I love Injustice 2. And then if they had an Injustice 3, there's just so much more that they could do with the game. There's so many characters that they could put in that's just DC. But like a Marvel versus DC game is just like, it could be something else entirely that would just be amazing.
I'm just saying, if you have Injustice 3 and then you compare it to, like, if you had two options, Injustice 3 and Marvel versus DC, like, what is going to sell money? You know that Marvel versus DC is going to sell a whole lot of money.
I think a Marvel versus DC game would bring a lot more hype surrounding it, because like we've never had a game like where you could put, let's say, Flash against Spider-Man, and like if Spider-Man, man, I would love to play Spider-Man in a game made by NRS. Like
That'd be cool.
I would love it. And like as you were saying earlier, Matt, Bio, a 2v2 tag system, it's like one of those things where by no means do I feel like it needs to be done, but I would definitely be open. I'd definitely be open to the idea of having a tag team kind of game, because it could bring a whole new fresh take on their games and stuff.
Can you imagine having it be like a double whammy? You have like Marvel versus DC, and you have it be 2v2. That would be like a tag team. That'd be sick.
It would be strange also, because it'd be like you'd have all the NRS people that played obviously Injustice, but you might get the competitive community from the Marvel side.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would play it actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be pretty good, and then it would just be a matter of how many people would stick with the game after the first month type of deal. But
yeah,
it'd be very interesting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow.
Should we go into like other options, other things that we're thinking like they could possibly make, or
we're all just in agreement on Marvel versus DC? Yeah, we're just all really hoping for it.
Give us Marvel versus DC.
There's a possibility. Some people, I've had people come into my streams before and say that they think MK12 would be the next game, but I feel like that's just so unlikely.
That's a boo. That's a boo.
I feel like that's so unlikely. Like if it happened, my hype levels 6 out of 10, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Something like that. Like I would definitely play it. I definitely grind it. If they're making an MK12, I'm gonna play it. But I would much prefer a Marvel versus DC or Injustice 3 as the next game.
I think also, because of the developer support or lack thereof for MK11, going straight into MK12 probably isn't what some people would be looking forward to. Yeah. And you probably just need to let that idea marinate for a couple of years until it comes out, and everybody's excited at that point.
And let's hope for an announcement of this game before the end of the year. Let's hope that it comes out next year in spring, April, May type of thing.
Why is that?
What do you mean, why is that?
Oh, you just want
Well, just the sooner the better type of thing.
Okay, yeah.
You want 1 year for a game, or 2 years, or 3 years, and what do you want?
I want to wait forever.
yeah, like... I just want them to announce it soon. Like ideally, I would have loved for them to announce this like at E3 back in June, but nothing was announced back then. So whatever. Hopefully, something will come up at some point where they'll be able to make some sort of announcement on what that next project is. Because the only confirmation that we have out here is a next project. So we gotta wait and see and find out what that potentially could be.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video of our potential thoughts of the new NRS game coming out, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more Beastcoast content.